Por que o Arsenal revolucionou a Inglaterra para quem é negro? Vou ver esse documentário do Peleja aqui, hein? Falam que é bastante do bom e eu verei.
Because it's very simple, bro. There ain't no black players at Tottenham.
Black people, they love football to bits, but they wouldn't go to games because of the racism.
Anti-black, anti-Semitic, all of those clubs, them doing all of that. You had Arsenal that felt like a haven for black players and fans.
Pô, eu não fazia história dessa...
Uma cidade
fazia
tão
ideia
diversa
dessa
como
história do
Londres,
Arsenal,
dos
né?
clubes gigantes influenciou muito parte da população.
So I remember one time he scored a goal, was a massive, massive dance in the sort of reggae.
Não
E
fazia
essa
ideia,
torcida
moleque.
também influenciou tudo ao redor do clube, seja na música, seja na moda, seja na comida.
They owe us a lot. You owe us some money, England.
A lot of us saw ourselves as, yeah, we're born in England, but we're Jamaican, we're Caribbean, or we're African. And it was a way of us really expressing our culture.
Eu estou em Londres para entender como que o Arsenal e a população negra se conectam tão perfeitamente.
Não fazia ideia disso aqui, velho. Tá alto ou tá baixo o volume, rapaziada? Tá alto?
Londres é conhecida pela sua vibração em sintonias diferentes e pela diversidade de pessoas, de culturas. A Jamaica, um dos mais de 50 países invadidos e colonizados pelo Império Britânico, conta com um dos povos que mais influenciaram o Reino Unido no século XX. Para um pouco de contexto, depois da Segunda Guerra Mundial, a Inglaterra precisava se reconstruir e buscava um perfil específico de mão de obra, homens jovens que receberiam salários baixíssimos. O governo britânico então se aproveitou do poder que tinha e acelerou acordos de migração com alguns países. E um navio chegou em Londres com 500 jamaicanos para ocuparem parte desses empregos. Dali para frente, novas gerações de famílias negras foram criando suas raízes por aqui, mas sendo expostas ao racismo e ao ódio nas ruas da capital. No final da década de 70 e principalmente na década de 80, quem era preto no Reino Unido gritava pelos seus direitos e contra os racistas, seja nas ruas, seja na música. Um dos caras mais influentes hoje na torcida do Arsenal é o Robbie, um ex-cantor de reggae que criou a Arsenal Fan TV, o maior canal de torcedores dos Gunners.
All you Tottenham fans who are running up your mouth during the week, yeah? Yeah. Right? All of you.
Yeah.
Smoke on that!
Eu encontrei um disco dele da década de 90 numa loja em Londres e levei pra ele assinar antes da gente trocar uma ideia.
I remember the Wrights because I used to be a recording artist back in the day. I used to make music, right? Reggae music, right? I was recording over in Tottenham. So with these guys called Mafia and Fluxy, big sort of musicians at the time. I was recording with them. When the riots kicked off that night, I couldn't even get home. It was crazy, you know what I mean? There was a lot of racism going on in those times, racism between black people and the police and authorities, as well as all the bullshit you used to have at football. I made a single called Proud to be Black, which went to #1 in the UK reggae charts. I used to tour around Europe.
What do you think was #1? This specific song?
Because it resonated with people, you know what I mean? The subject, Proud to be Black, you know, you said about all the sort of stuff that was going on at the time as well, really resonated with the people. And it was a big hit.
Ideia, moleque, dessa história do Arsenal. Conhecia tudo.
For real, Lord of mercy, let me know. Anything me say, wanna say, proud to be black. Anything me say, wanna say, proud to be black, proud to be black, black.
My parents were very much like, when I was like 13 to 16, 17, I was constantly asking them, please can I go to a game, please can I go to a game? And I think it's only in retrospect that I'm able to understand why they didn't feel it was safe enough for me to go with another friend and like no kind of parents or anything, because they knew things that I didn't have the framework for at the time. They knew that when a crowd turns, when supporters turn, when they start making monkey noises, when they start throwing things at people.
Because the thing is about football, is that especially in those days, you had a lot of black people, they loved football to bits, but they wouldn't go to games. They more watch it on TV because of the racism.
When you look at old footage of games, how many black supporters do you really see in the crowds, right? It's normally white shouting men. You have certain clubs like Chelsea, Millwall, who have been so entrenched in like the far right, National Front in the 80s, 70s, anti-black, anti-Semitic, all of those clubs, them doing all of that. You had Arsenal that felt like a haven for black players and fans.
But we're talking about days where racism in football was terrible. You know what I mean? If you went to a game as a black fan, you'd get abuse, people would want to fight you. You had right-wing sort of Nazi groups attached to certain football clubs like Chelsea. So when you came to Arsenal, you know, there wasn't that.
Pô, falaram do Millwall aqui, é foda que eu não sei se tem qualidade boa, né? Mas a gente podia ver o filme dos hooligans, né? De rolê, um dia desses aí. Ou então aqueles documentários que eu falei que ia ver com vocês, a gente não viu, né? Do The Real Football Factories, que é pica também. Que eu sempre falo, pô, vamos ver, nunca vejo com vocês esse documentário. Que é sobre as rivalidades de times e torcidas organizadas, né?
Come on now, listen, right? Listen, when you're a kid and you're growing up in the 80s or the 70s in London, right? And you find a newspaper, yeah? And you look at the newspaper, and on the headline of the newspaper it says, oh, woman mugged by black man in Brixton. Oh, girl this by black person there. And that was all the newspaper. You looked at the South London Press. And I used to look through these newspapers, yeah? And you'd look and you'd look and you'd look for something positive about a black person. And it wasn't there. Right. It wasn't there. There was nothing, yeah? So you had to turn to the sports pages.
Funny thing was that one of the main sort of leaders of the hooligan sort of group at Arsenal was a black guy.
The Bear.
The Bear, yeah.
The Bear.
Why not the other club? Why not Chelsea? Why not
Chelsea because they didn't have the black players like those that Arsenal did. It wasn't like a revolution like Arsenal. Arsenal was a revolution.
And the main one for me was Ian Wright.
Why?
Because Ian Wright just epitomised to me every black guy off the street in London, in and around the country.
It was like those people were the people you looked at in the rest of the newspapers. They wouldn't cover nothing good about black people.
Na verdade que o Arsenal é um clube maneiro, né?
You as a kid, you grew up in Tottenham.
Yes, I grew up in Tottenham, fam.
And how did you become like an Arsenal fan?
Because it's very simple, bro. There ain't no black players for Tottenham. The only black players are like Rule Fox, let's run that for a little bit. But there ain't no banging players for you to like sort of connect with. And then as soon as there's a Tottenham game, you would just see Essex. You would see so much white people, bro. You would just see seas and seas of white people come into the game and you would be like, all right, the Spurs game is on. But then Arsenal have a brother called Ian Wright. He's got a gold tooth, he's got attitude. He kind of reminds you of your uncle or something like that. So I'm Jamaican, man. I'm not English. So like, I can support who I want. That's how I look at it. If you're born in this country and you're born in that area, I get why you might have that sort of tribalism attitude to the area, but I'm a foreigner, cuz. So we're Jamaicans and we've just chosen as Jamaican individuals in Jamaican culture to resonate with an individual that represents us a little bit more.
The way he talked, the way he walked, even his goal celebrations. I remember one time he scored a goal and he did what they call the bogle dance. It's this dance where you go like that, right? Which at the time, that dance was a massive, massive dance in the sort of reggae, you know what I mean? Like people were doing the bogle dance. You just look at him and say, "Yeah, my
Esse
guy."
maluco era muito foda, então, esse Ian Wright.
Come under, my friend. Come under, my friend. English culture is very reserved, very overly polite. Ian Wright broke the mold. He was the first person culturally that you look at and you resonates with you because it's not just down to the color of your skin. I think sometimes in media, it's very easy just to say someone's black, so they're like you. It's just a very ignorant perception and way of looking at the situation. What separates everybody is the culture differences between white people, black people, everybody. And what Ian Wright represented as an individual within football was a journey. The more you learn about Ian Wright, this guy went prison, this guy got into football really, really, really late.
Hello, Ian. Long time no see.
Mr. Pigden, you're alive.
I'm alive, he says. How are you doing?
I can't believe it. Someone said you was dead.
As you see, I'm very much in, and I'm so glad You've done so well with
Caralho,
yourself.
mano.
He was almost like the underdog, and that's how you feel as an individual coming to the club, especially in 1996. A lot of, you know, Caribbeans would have felt like underdogs. You know, I'm coming from, you have to work twice as hard to get a job, is what you were told. So when you see an individual that kind of somehow won the Premier League and was from like South London.
In South London, I think places like Brixton in particular was like the sort of heartbeat of the reggae industry. And Arsenal's always had massive support over in South London. Now, a lot of that sort of dates back to the fact that, you know, Arsenal started off, if you look at the history of Arsenal, it started off as a South London club,
Wright.
but then moved to North London. But I also feel it's really because when you're talking about the black side of it, right, is that, you know, that culture was so, you know, of reggae, of, you know, of roots, was really, really, you know, deep in places like Brixton. And it was a way of us really expressing our culture, you know what I mean? Which a lot of us saw ourselves as, yeah, we're born in England, but we're Jamaican, you know what I mean? Or we're West Indian, we're Caribbean, or we're African. We didn't really connect, you know what I mean? There was a big rise of the Rastafarian movement and stuff like that.
Jamaican culture over in London is huge. They owe us a lot. You owe us some money, England. You owe us some money.
Vocês sabiam dessa conexão do povo jamaicano com Londres? Pô, isso é novidade pra mim também. Tô parecendo um estúpido, né? Mas não sabia, tô descobrindo agora.
We've been hugely influential in this country. Jamaica's got like 3.3 million people. Like England alone's got 60 million people. I shouldn't watch a show called Top Boy and see people say Wagwan.
What's the thing you told me, like, Wagwan?
Wagwan, yeah, Wagwan, you know what I mean? So you hear white people, Asian people, everybody say Wagwan. That's a Jamaican word, for what's going on, what's happening, how are you, you know what I mean? Wagwan.
You ask a lot of people that were black when they were younger, they would have said they were Jamaican. Didn't matter where they were from. If they were called Babatunde, they would have said their name's Winston or Desmond. They would have changed it. They would have made it sound a bit more Jamaican, because that was just like, honestly, it was so hugely influential in London.
Hip hop started from reggae. Right, that's a well-known fact, you know what I mean? The food that we eat, you know what I mean? Jerk chicken, curry goat, rice and peas.
So we are in North London, in Highbury and Islington, just across from the Emirates Stadium.
Pô, Emirates é
We're
lindaço,
at
né,
Just
mulher?
Jerk,
Olha isso,
which
viado.
is a black-owned restaurant. They do all of the good stuff. Big Arsenal players have come here. Ian Wright calls it his favourite restaurant in, I think in London or in the world, who knows? I've never made jerk myself. I eat good jerk from all of my friends who can make it. So I can just loosely say it's delicious.
You don't take the risk, yeah.
Exactly.
Even Jamaican food spots. You can go to most places in London and there'll be a Caribbean spot. In where we are right now, I know about, off the top of my head, about 3 or 4 we can go to around here.
No fim dos anos 90 para o começo dos anos 2000, o futebol inglês fechava acordos históricos de transmissão dos jogos na TV do mundo inteiro. Isso teve um impacto absurdo na história dos Gunners. Não era só o Caribe. Torcedores de países africanos também passaram a assistir cada vez mais os craques negros em campo e começavam a se apaixonar por um time que fez história. Num jogo contra o Leeds, em 2002, o Arsenal entrou com 9 jogadores negros em campo, algo nunca antes visto no Reino Unido.
If you're a young black boy
normal, né?
and you started getting into football in between, I would say, 1996 and 2001, 100% you support Arsenal, just because of the way they were.
Arsenal is always going to be legendary for that.
Pô, eu lembro até hoje, mano. Não sei se vocês viram, tem um vídeo, moleque, que viralizou recentemente. Tipo assim, é um vídeo, mas que viralizou por parte de um comentário de um francês branco, né? Que... Não sei se foi um francês branco ou foi um brasileiro que se sente francês branco, tá ligado? Que pode ter sido também. Tô lembrando do contexto. Mas que é um vídeo da categoria sub-17 e sub-15 do Paris Saint-Germain, o Aline. E ele entra em campo e o time é todo de preto, tá ligado? Os 11 jogadores são pretos, do Paris Saint-Germain. Aí o cara comenta, tipo assim, aquele comentário bem preconceituoso de merda, né? Tipo assim, porra, olha aí o time da Paris Saint-Germain que nem parece de franceses, tá ligado? Sendo que, porra, a França, né, num geral, é um país recheado de preto, tá ligado? Recheado, por N movimentos, tá ligado? Por N situações. Só que o cara faz um comentário patético, né? E aí ele é humilhado no Twitter, só que, tipo assim, isso é um movimento que tem acontecido cada vez mais, assim, na minha cabeça, tá ligado? Tipo assim, você vê jogos dos times ingleses, né, da Premier League, tá ligado? Pô, diversos times têm um número grande, né, de tanto jogadores de fora da Inglaterra como de jogadores pretos. Acho que se o Arsenal foi precursor disso... O número aumentou consideravelmente. O Real Madrid hoje é exemplo, Aline. Olha o Real Madrid hoje, viado.
O Real Madrid
pegar
é... Vini, Rodrigo, Tchouaméni...
tu pegar um possível Real Madrid, tu tem
Militão,
Bellingham, Camavinga, Vini, Rodrigo, vem Mbappé, tem Endrick, Rudiger, Alaba, Mendy, Tchouaméni, Militão. Moleque, é muita gente, viado.
Agora, vê se esse rapaz aí tava puto com a França, com o time de 2018 da França foi campeão do mundo.
Campeão do mundo, né? Deve estar puto sim com o Pogba, com o Mbappé.
Um Kanté, com uma Matuidi, um Titi. Vê se ele tá puto lá.
Deve estar muito puto ele, com certeza.
Com certeza. Kimpembe, Dembélé. Nossa, deve estar espumando de raiva nessa época.
2002. I think also remembering the migration pattern.
É verdade, moleque. O Barcelona não tem no time titular, né?
O Rafinha.
Então, só se for trazer.
Yamal, né?
Yamal, Rafinha e Yamal.
Rafinha é Yamal, pô.
Tem Koundé também. O moleque mandou no chat, eu fui pensar, mas tem sim.
É muito difícil ter um time sem negro, gente.
Verdade. Por exemplo, o Arsenal hoje em dia...
Taca, Jesus.
O Arsenal que entrou em campo contra o Wolves aqui, tô pegando. É Saliba, Gabriel Magalhães, Saka e Jesus. Tem Partey no banco.
4 de 11? Tá.
Nketiah no banco também.
And how a lot of people from West Africa particularly migrated to the UK as part of the Commonwealth, etc. We definitely can't underestimate just how transformative for a lot of people it was to see black players dominating the pitch and also incredibly talented.
And you're talking about like Ashley Cole, Hanu, Sol Campbell, Thierry Henry. I'm just watching it and I'm thinking to myself, this just seems like me and my mates on the council estate. Like that team really resonated with me.
Like I still love Henry like so much. All of these players, they resembled my dad. They resembled what my brothers could grow into. There's something so crystallizing about seeing like something that you are not used to seeing at all.
Having 9 players in a team, as a black fan, you're like, that's our team, bro. That's our team, you know. So that was a proud moment.
Pô, mano, eu vou te falar. Inevitavelmente isso aí é um movimento muito foda do Arsenal, tá ligado? Tipo assim, porque ou não, mano, o povo preto ele se sentia identificado com o time, mano. E é natural pra caralho que isso aconteça. Tipo assim, imagina, todos os times só tem branco, tá ligado? Eles não se sentem identificação nenhuma, tá ligado? Quando chega o Arsenal lá botando um monte de preto pra jogar, esquece, pô. Os caras viram fã pra caralho, é muito foda.
E a KTO é parceira do Peleja em vários conteúdos como esse aqui no canal. Então entra no site da KTO, usa o cupom PELEJA20 pensando em free bet e também pensando no apoio que a KTO dá pro Peleja fazer esse tipo de conteúdo exclusivo para você.
Todos os anos, o Arsenal promove palestras e eventos dedicados ao mês da consciência negra, ou mês da história negra, e lança com frequência coleções de camisas inspiradas na cultura jamaicana e na apaixonada torcida que o clube tem em países africanos como a Nigéria. É uma conexão.
Pior que esse uniforme do Arsenal eu acho feio pra caralho, moleque. Todo respeito do mundo, né? Esse amarelo todo listado.
O amarelo é feio. O amarelo é feio, legal.
Amarelo, verde, limão, não sei.
Que só fortalece a cada década.
É muito chamativo.
Of my own experience, like Nigerian cultures, like how fabric and clothing that shows like community, unity, and you know when you have a wedding.
Mas querendo ou não, faz todo sentido hoje, tá ligado? Tu olhar pra esse uniforme e pensar.
I mean, obviously it speaks to a lot of different cultures, but it's so. The wealth of the cloth, the wealth of the threads.
I think the best one was the Jamaican coloured shirt, purely because they released it just before Carnival. If you want to know about Caribbean culture and what it means, it's a great place to hear some good soca music, to see some good dancehall, sound system culture, a lot of older people, a lot of younger people, Caribbeans from all ages. Just to see the Arsenal jersey amongst that group of people so consistently speaks volumes about maybe even the contribution subconsciously the club has made within the community. Do you know what I mean?
It's like being called Starboy. Like, for me, that stems from Wizkid, who is Starboy in Nigerian Afrobeats. And with them both being Nigerian, with Nigerians loving Saka, like when he scores, there's this guy, I've forgotten his name, but he'll always be like, Bukayo! And like, that's how it's said, that is a Yoruba name, right?
Welcome home, Bukayo. We love you.
Arsenal, for
Like
me,
a
and I
football.
go all around the country, you know, every single season, going to every single ground in the Premier League. Arsenal has by far the most black fans of any club in this country. Yeah,
Eu
you
não
know,
fazia ideia,
I'm proud of
mano.
my,
Acho foda.
I'm proud of my Jamaican heritage, you know what I mean?
I guess I didn't feel comfortable, and now I feel like it's my home, like in a way, walking through the concourse without the fears of potential threat or violence that I know that my parents were very keenly aware of at a time. Yeah.
Do you know what? The club's a part of my history, man. It's an integral part of my history. It's an integral part of my journey. It's an integral part of my life. It's allowed me to finance my life, look after my family. Football, Arsenal, Ian Wright, Thierry Henry, all of these things. Without them, I don't even know who I am. Mate, I'm at home at mum's house still now, doing nothing, man. So I'm very thankful to football. My brother, God bless you, man. I'm coming to Brazil soon as well, so check me out, my guys.
Pô,
No
maneiraço o
próximo
vídeo, hein,
episódio
mano?
de Subculturas Inglaterra,
Ele
eu
contou
fui pra
uma história que eu não
Liverpool
conhecia,
entender por que
tá
essa
ligado?
cidade tem uma identidade tão própria e muitos não se consideram nem ingleses. Deixa o seu like e segue o
Cara, o
Peleja pra não
futebol é tão
perder.
foda, mano. Tem que se pegar no top da Série A. Tem um monte de história foda que a gente não sabe, velho.
Deve ter, pô. Deve ter pra caralho. Um monte de história que a gente não faz ideia de que existem e que a gente depois vai acabar descobrindo, tá ligado?
E mais uma vez o mito do futebol não se mistura com política, né? E
Tudo
isso
se mistura hoje no mundo ali.